Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which has been a game that released today. A lot of people were looking forward to. Me personally, I definitely wanted to get my hands on this game. I've been looking forward to it for at least a couple weeks now that I've seen, the trailers and whatnot. I actually wasn't even really that aware of this game, I guess I just hadn't been paying attention or anything, but from my understanding, this is a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which came out a few years ago. I played a little bit of that, got my hands on that. It was pretty decent, right? So I wanted to get my hands on this one for, if anything, at least some gameplay, right? Just for YouTube videos here on the channel, I thought it'd be nice to have a little footage of a newer Star Wars game, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a hard pass on Star Wars Jedi Survivor as of right now, and it's not because of the game. I do want to clarify before I even really get any further into the game. I am not here to criticize the game itself. I don't know if the story's good. I don't know if the gameplay's any good. That's not what I'm here to focus on. But more or less what I'm here to focus on is the massive performance issues that this game has been suffering from, even right out of the gates, right? Now, before we even go any further, right, I'm going to go ahead and address the same exact stupid, boring argument that I hear every single time that we talk about one of these AAA titles releasing for $70 now, coming out, people pre-ordering it, buying it day one, and just being absolutely disappointed by massive problems with these products. I mean, this is definitely not the first or only game, AAA, that has come out in the last few years that has had just ridiculous problems with performance or some sort of issue that really hinders the game in some way. Now, at the end of the day, I mean, this might end up being a great game. It might end up being very enjoyable, and for Star Wars fans, maybe the story's going to be great and everything. And like I said, that's not what I want to sit here and debate today, but the fact of the matter is this game launched in one of the most piss-poor states that we have seen a AAA title release in recent memory. I mean, you think back on all of the games that have come out and just absolutely come out the gates in the wrong way over the last couple years, and this is just another one of these tried and true stories, unfortunately, where the developers and the publishers of one of these AAA titles, they realize, they're going to make their money either way, so they don't have to make sure that there's great quality assurance with their project. They don't have to have the game perfectly polished. Now me, I've been gaming since 2003 or so, right? I was a little kid. I really started with the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. Those were my two major first consoles that I played a lot of. And I remember growing up playing, PC games where you had to put the CD-ROM inside of the disc tray and then install it with 3 different discs. And having to go to GameStop and getting a physical copy of a game to play it. Back then, man, your game had to be fucking polished, right? Back, 15, 20 years ago, if you released a AAA title in the way that they're releasing AAA titles now, they would absolutely be fucking buried into the ground. And in a way, that was a simpler, better time, right? I remember going to GameStop as a kid, right? And I'd get a new game. For instance, I would get, let's say, the new Madden, which I know Madden is definitely not a name that you would associate with quality now, but back when I was a kid, man, they were really polished, solid games, right? You'd pick a game up at GameStop regardless, and when you took it home, you expected for that motherfucker to work when you put it in the disk drive, right? That game worked. Now, dude, you buy a AAA title, maybe you even pre-order the deluxe edition of the game, and you just open it up and you get a situation like this. Now, people are absolutely decimating this game because of performance issues. I mean, there's been FPS problems, there's been a lot of hitches, glitches, and bugs, and of course, people are gonna say, oh, it's the first day the game's come out, you gotta give them a little bit of respect, give them a little time to finish it. Well, the issue that I have with that is we paid $70 fucking for a game here. Well, I won't say I did. I haven't bought it yet because of the, I guess, reviews and the criticism that we're talking about here, but people are buying this game for $70, right? You expect that to be a premium grade product. I mean, who spends $70 on just anything, right? For most people, that's a significant purchase, right? A $70 game, you gotta hope it's good. They're paying $70, and then there's people out here running GeForce 4090 graphics cards with high-end processors that are getting 30 FPS in this game. Now, I don't know about you, but I would expect if you have a 4090, you can run just damn near any game that comes out, right? That's pretty much the premier graphics card at the moment. That's the top rate, top shelf shit you can get, So even the top end software, I should say hardware, the top end hardware that you can put inside of your PC right now isn't even able to run the game in a playable state. I mean, people say, oh, 30 FPS is playable. Yeah, it's playable if, you want to hold it to 2011 standards standards, but last time that I checked, it is 2023, and people with a 4090 graphics card should not be limiting themselves to, hopefully the game will run at 30 FPS this time. That is fucking pathetic. I mean, I don't want to sit here and, lambast and shit on these people who made this game, but at the end of the day, man, you're selling a $70 product that you know damn good and well is launching in a state that should not be launched in. I mean, you're out here selling the deluxe edition of Star Wars Jedi Survivor for $90 fucking dollars, right? So you're telling me people can spend $90 on the game, but they can't run it in 60 FPS with a fucking top-end PC? That is just pathetic. I mean, when you look at the Steam reviews, I mean, they've been all over the place. They've been, when I looked at it when it first launched, only about a quarter, I would say, of the user reviews for the game were positive. But now, that number's at about 37%, meaning that the vast majority of people playing the game on PC right now are absolutely shitting on it. And when you look at the reviews on Steam and you look through the feedback that people are giving, it's almost all universally people complaining about the performance. Apparently the PC performance is just absolutely inexcusable. Some people are reporting that it's running better on Xbox and PlayStation, but not that much better. There's a lot of people complaining about the damn same problems on console as well. So regardless of the reason, this is just inexcusable, man. I don't find any excuse for this. And I know people, they fucking dick ride these studios. Oh, dude, they just need a little more time to fix the problems, fuck, you gotta be nice to them. Like, fuck that, man. These are AAA studios. I mean, this is a game by Electronic Arts, they are the publishers. This game was made by Respawn Entertainment, the people making fucking Apex and shit like that. Like, they know what they're doing. This isn't some small rate studio who had a budget cut or didn't have the employees to pull this project off, right? Like, this is a premier level studio for a premier level publisher that is putting out a project in this kind of state. Like, that isn't acceptable. And then their response to it is even fucking worse. We are aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of our PC players. In particular, those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower-performing CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we're working to address these cases quickly. While there is no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, the team has been working on fixes we believe will improve performance across a spectrum of configurations. We are committed to fixing these issues as soon as possible, but each patch requires significant testing to ensure we don't introduce new problems. Thanks for understanding, and apologies to any of our players experiencing these issues. We will continue to monitor performance across all platforms and share update timing as soon as it is available. Signed, the Star Wars Jedi team. Now, they say, this is only happening for a percentage of the PC players. That percentage being the vast majority of people playing the fucking game. It is not just, 5 to 20% of our players are having problems, The majority of people playing the game are having these problems. That's just inexcusable. If the majority, let's say you ran a mom and pop burger shop, right? You had, 100 cars come through the drive-thru in a given day. If, 70 of those cars got the wrong order, would that be acceptable? If 70 of those cars, ordered a cheeseburger and got a fucking chicken wrap, would that be okay? Would that be acceptable? If you ran a company that made bulletproof vests, okay, and 70 of the 100 bulletproof vests you manufactured let a fucking 22 caliber long rifle round straight through the center chest, would that be acceptable? Would that be cool? If you ran a car wash and 70% of the cars came out on the other end of the wax with a fucking rock scratch up the side of it, would that be acceptable? So why do people find it acceptable when these game studios sell you a $70 to $100 game that doesn't even work when it comes out? And people defend this with, they're gonna put out the day one patch, they're gonna fix it in the coming weeks. Yeah, that's great. You know what else they could have done? They could have delayed the game fucking 3 months or whatever, figured out the problems that they definitely knew were in the game, and then released it when it was ready to be released. That's also a possibility. Ultimately, this has been a continuing issue that we've seen in the AAA gaming industry for years now, and it seems like it's only realistically getting worse because, let's be honest, these studios realize they can get away with it. Thousands of people have already bought, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and they already had all these pre-orders and all these people, paying to get the game. They've already made their money. They already got the Star Wars name behind it. They already got the sales. They can put out bullshit because at the end of the day, they got their money. They got what they need. Now, hypothetically, if people stopped pre-ordering video games and giving these studios $70 to $100 guaranteed up front before they even present you the product, I wonder if we would start to see that kind of trend, that kind of fucking pattern that we all know and hate change. And that's personally why I do not pre-order games anymore. It doesn't matter what game it is. The only game I think I will be pre-ordering in the next couple years guaranteed is Grand Theft Auto 6. And even then, I'm still iffy on whether or not that's going to get a pre-order. We're going to need to see how that trailer looks. The bar has been set so low for like launch day in video games now that, you know, shit like this is just, it gets overlooked. People look the other way. Like, there's people who defend these studios. Yeah, they'll put out the day one patch, you know, they'll fix it. People defend this now. People are okay with shit like this now. And that's why these studios keep getting away with it. That's why they keep doing it. You know, people, I see in the comments all the time, and even myself, like in videos where I talk about the gaming industry, you know, people, we all say, man, whatever happened? What led to this happening? You know, what was the trend that went down the road of making these AAA studios think they can get away with subpar? It literally is that trend, you know, of people sitting there pre-ordering games all the fucking time, regardless of what product they get in return. Like, these studios have to start getting punished in some way. Like, these studios, you know, from EA and Ubisoft and Activision, these companies that keep putting out fucking surprisingly mid games, people need to stop pre-ordering these games and giving them money up front for products that they're not even delivering on at the end of the day. Like, how many times are we as a community going to continue to get burned before we stop doing this? And once again, I don't want to shit on the game. I don't know if the game's any good. I don't know if the gameplay is any good. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it makes up for the performance issues, but this kind of shit needs to be called out and addressed. So with that being said though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Jedi Survivor's horrible performance out of the gate and signing out.